You fail to comply. You and everything you love will burn.
Jonathan, I'm going to come to you. What was your favorite on-set moment whilst filming? Were there any moments of like madness or mayhem, laughter, just a moment that sticks out for you?
So the final scene, Rufus Buck, Nat Love, our brother Idris Elba, James Samuel, myself. We're all in this room, and it's very much like it's an arena. And what we're about to go into, the three of us all decided we didn't talk about it much. We had an idea of, okay, we're going to try to keep our distance because of the pandemic. We had to kind of amend that, because we had to be close to each other. But we never really spoke about the scene. We knew what it had to be. James would come up, and and we just kind of look at each other. It's like, yeah. All right, let's roll. Driss. And we went in, and everybody showed up in that moment. And it's very rare that in a film or in art, that it's not just the three artists that are there, it's the three artists, and it's our ancestors that also show up. And something that happened in that moment for me, and later on talking with James, and well, after we cut, right, and Driss, the fraternal bond, the fraternal, I would say, bonding and trauma that we were going through was something that you kind of dream of as an artist. And for me, that moment of we're brothers, we're enemies. We appear to be enemies, but yet we're brothers. And then all this was set up by this one man who understood it and so much and put himself in the scene. I don't want to say what, if you know where I'm going, you know.
Oh gosh, you guys. Medication works. Oh my goodness. Oh, you knew how much better I felt just by those two little. Y'all don't understand. I wish that I could have two. I do this so that you can try to understand, so that you can know that there's a whole.
Black, y'all.
Okay, so I'm JP, your spiritual DJ, and then I'm OG for Tree. Don't count us out. Don't put us down. For fuck's sake, we are not inspiration. Citizens, how's your spirit? Mine as wonky as my butterflies. What's going on in the chat, you guys? Guys, give me a 5 and let me know how the sound quality is. Trying out a new microphone and headphones, and I just want to be sure everything's okay. In the meantime, oh my God, did you guys actually see The Harder They Fall? So the opening that we had there was from, I want to say, 1X Breakfast Chat. Actually fantastic. I felt some type of way about what Regina had to say about all the girls' sister code power and whatnot, but my fella made sure that I stayed on track and watched the entire 30 minutes, and I suggest that you do so as well, because it really does kind of hit home on what it is that I'm always talking about, and now more than ever. Hey, Anya, so glad to see you. How's your spirit, sis? So glad things are well. I just, I believe it or not, considering what we're going to be talking about, my spirit is overjoyed. You guys, I don't think that I've just made it clear a few things about JP. I had to have a conversation with my fella because, excuse me, anyway, we'll get into it in a little bit. So you guys tell me what's going on with you. How's your spirit? You know how we do. We kind of get involved, check in with you, check in with me. What's going on in these YouTube streets? And then we're going to have a conversation. Not today. There are going to be some discussions about what we're going to do moving forward. So make sure you stay till the end of the stream so that you can find out how you can be more interactive in the upcoming streams. You guys are going to get to vote live chat. You're going to get to vote behind the scenes. You're going to be able to debate live chat and behind the scenes. But all of that's for a little bit further down the line. Right now, we really just want to kind of make sure that you're okay. I'm so glad you're feeling okay. And yeah, I am okay. I'm not okay. I'm not even going to lie. I am super, super ecstatic. Mostly just because my spirit has been overjoyed in the things that have happened in this last year. When I think about how far I've actually come along in this journey, it did not start with when I did my first YouTube video, or for that matter, the first time that I got onto the Lead Attorneys live stream. It was really the very first time. Like I said, it was 2017 really that this all kicked off, but a lot of the things that I have been working on behind the scenes, and even in front of this camera, was really just about getting myself to do this next big thing. And so you hear me say a lot of times that I don't really care about monetization or any of those things. And I realize that that may seem strange. And so I will explain, but I want to get into today's conversation. One, we're going to go and check in over at One Community is either live right now or has posted an update on the Young Dolph situation. So I want to find out what's going on over there. One, because it does tie into what we're discussing today. It helped narrow my focus on how to go forward with today's stream. But also because, I'm from Memphis. And what we're going to talk about today took place in Memphis. So let's go check in with One Community really quickly. And then we're going to get into a couple of theme songs, you guys. And then we'll go from there. I don't know if any of you all have ever experienced a public loss. But it's something different. It's an entirely different thing to have the entire world watch you grieve and then have nothing happen. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. But here, we're going to look at what's going on with One Community really quick. Wow. Oh my God. I can't. Okay. Wow. So I think the One Community's got some more rather live stuff happening. Live video over there. So here. I'm a little uncomfortable, you guys. So trigger warning. I'm not sure I'm even gonna make it through this, but let's see.
We will be uploading a lot of content, especially today, especially in the wake of this tragic news of
rest
Young
in peace
Dolph
to Young Dolph,
being
you
murdered.
guys.
You know what I'm saying? Earlier today. So listen, Young Dolph was spotted.
May the Lord look out for his soul and the spirit of those that he left behind. It's Kwame Brown asked, I don't know if it was Kwame Brown, it was One Community. Why are we losing so many rap artists? So many. Okay, anyway, let's just get into it.
Earlier, right before he was killed. So let me get up on some of this, man. You already know, drop y'all likes on the way in. Make sure y'all putting that hashtag RIP Young Dolph, Young Dolphin, all of that, man. Shout out to Adolph Thornton Jr., man. RIP to Young Dolph. Let's get into this video.
I'm putting the link to One Community in the chat, you guys.
Moments before he was killed.
And I am going to drop this back some just in case I need to
Welcome
pause
back to the channel once again, fam. Young Dolph, a high-profile Memphis-based rapper, was killed in a shooting on Airways Boulevard Wednesday, November 17th, according to multiple media reports and officials. The shooting occurred at the renowned bakery, Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies. Witnesses who documented the aftermath of the shooting on social media identified Young Dolph's car, a vehicle with a unique and distinguishable camouflage paint job.
We can see a very well-known car.
Okay. JP can't do anymore. You guys, hi Rashawn. Ah, man, you showed up. right on time for my spirit. I can't do that. And oh shit. Okay, you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I don't think I'm as strong as I think I am. Okay. So Rashawn, you're just joining, and we were talking about young Dolph being murdered in Memphis at a local at a well-known bakery. Oh. I'm not grown up enough for this, you guys. I'm really not. Young Dolph is a Memphis-based rapper. Enya. Okay. I just need a minute, and then I'm coming back. I'm going to do this. Hey guys, okay, so woosah, just needed a minute to get myself together. One, by the way, the video needs to be updated. We are at 192 citizens. Oh my God, thank you so much. Last week was absolutely amazing. I flexed my brain. You guys flexed your spirit. We grew to 192 subscribers. Citizens, so I am asking you, while you get comfortable, to please make sure that you share this with your community. Make sure you hit the like and then the subscribe. When you hit subscribe, make sure you hit the all button so that you get everything that I put out, not just what YouTube thinks that you would actually like. Now, let's start over. I am your spiritual DJ. That's me, JP. What's a spiritual DJ? I bring you in. We talk about some things, but first, I get to know you, your spirit. We get a couple theme songs going, get you in the right frame of mind to have a discussion about what we do as Black folks moving forward in this community. Today, we're going to talk about what it is to deal with public grief and how you can turn your trauma into triumph. This platform, this channel, I sit here as a living testament to the fact that no matter what happens, you can keep going. You just have to do more. You have to do different. And that doing different starts with divesting yourself of self-hate and learning to compassionate. And so it takes some work. It takes some time. You guys, I've created 2 playlists to be able to help with that. One of them is just the live stream videos put together, and that one is Homeschooling for the Heart. And then the second playlist is think of it kind of like a homework guide for that same homeschooling. Hey Patrice, so glad to see you in the stream. How's your spirit, gorgeous? Woo, child, mine is having a moment. So I need you guys to give me some theme songs to get me in the right frame of mind to get it together. Amazingly, I was able to upgrade after last week and change out the microphone and use the new headphones. And things seem to be going well so far. So I'm looking forward to not having that pressure on my head, which may also mean that I'll be able to have somewhat longer streams. but I really don't think that I'll be pushing it to the 6-hour mark like I did the last time very often. If we do 2 to 3 hours, that's really the time frame. Homeschooling, yeah, Inya, I was a, Inya, honey, I've done it all. I was a stay-at-home wife and mother. I homeschooled. I had my own home daycare for about 4 years. Then I went to culinary school. I went from no culinary experience to general manager in 7 years while my children were in high school. And then I had intended when they were in college to move on to opening my own little mom and pop kind of cafeteria style breakfast and lunch diner. And then life happened, fibromyalgia, these things that we're going to talk about today. And my purpose in life changed. Well, and in reality, I won't even say that my purpose in life changed. It's just that it came into further focus. At the same time that I was doing all those things, I was also a volunteer manager for the military for about, I'm going to say 12 to 15 years, just to be on the safe side. You know how they are with this. Everything gets doxxed in the YouTube world these days. But I was a volunteer manager, and then when I came back out and tried to come back to work after the fibromyalgia and considering suicide, I went into AmeriCorps, and I went back into volunteer management on the civilian side of things. And so, yeah, I think the universe was just setting me up to be able to do this. And so it was a journey. It took a lot of things, but you know, not all of us are meant to stay in one place. I grew up a military kid. Shout out to Jonathan Majors, who I opened this video with. I understand that he is an Air Force brat. So, you know, there's something about us wandering kids, guys. We just do things in a different kind of way. And so I wandered around for quite a while, and then the universe sat me down. I told you a couple videos back, I had to lie flat in my own life, and in lying flat, I realized that there was something wrong. There's no way that my children could have been raised in the same role with these same folks, and they don't seem to have any peers that they, you know, something was off. Something was off, and so I went on a journey, and it led me to YouTube. But we're gonna get down there. Hey, my aunt, so glad to see you. Sorry, you guys, I got sidetracked. Just running my mouth. I'll talk to myself. When you got 5 people upstairs, you can have a whole lot of conversations, y'all. But I know we'll talk about it in a little bit. Patrice says she's all over the place. Her spirit's all over the place. She'd love to hear "Emotional Roller Coaster" by Vivian Green. I'll do that. I was telling one of the fellas that they should consider starting a Twitch account where they play video games topless and sing. Never mind. I almost gave away the hook. I almost gave away the hook. Boy, I'm learning. I might not be willing to play a treacherous game in order to get out these YouTube streets and get my weight up, but I swear for God, I'm not gonna get. I know what to hang on to. All right. Sorry. Excuse me, y'all. Forgive me. Okay, here we go, Patrice. Ooh. Boy, I tell you, y'all be moving up in here with just a... How's the sound, guys? Give me a 5 on the sound. Tell me what I have gotten into. Ran my 3 miles to clear. Thank you very much, Jenya. I have done a lot, and it's a long way to go. You would think with 100 videos that I had already told all of my stories. Baby, it's just a start. But hopefully you guys will stay around for a while and get to hear some more. You have new content, Maya? I'm looking forward to it. Yay! Alright, so the sound is doing good? Yes, nice. Emotional roller coaster. Loving you ain't nothing healthy. Loving you was never good for me. Hey! Alright, you guys, so if you would like to drop your theme song and come up with Jam with J Pam, if you look up above you in the comments, right there is the pin opening. The link, you can click the link, come up, and jam with me to your theme song. Also, though, make sure you drop your theme song in the comments, guys. That way, I can play it. I play them in the beginning and the end of the show, sometimes in the middle when things are just getting a little bit too much. Today might be one of those days, so be sure that you hang on. But, again, like I said, we're going to be talking about the loss of young Dolph. Rest in peace. And I'm really just using the word loss so that I don't have to do too many bleeps whenever I get this video downloaded and re-uploaded. Peace to you, Hanifa. Thank you so much for being here. But so, yeah, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about a couple of other things. What we're going to be doing next. Shout out to Mayat. I've already spoken to her and Rashawn. Patrice, you're here. I would love... Oh, sorry, you guys. That was probably loud. I'm still learning how to deal with the new mic. Patrice, I would really love to get your support in a little project that I'm trying to do. But that's going to be at the end of the stream, you guys. I'm really trying to be more focused. I realize that the way my autism is set up... I have some tendrils that I can just really branch off really quick sometimes. So you guys have to keep me focused. Rashawn is my taskmaster. Arshawn, dang it, fellow, you know your name. Anyway, does a great job of keeping me on task behind the scenes. But in the chat, you guys might need to help me remember where my brain is supposed to be in the moment. Especially for this one, like I said, because it's closer to home than I really want it to be. So before we do anything else, though, let me make sure that I go ahead and get these housekeeping things done. All right, so stop that. There it is. Housekeeping. Ta-da! All right, so shout out to our channel benefactors, Mr. Stewart, our very first moderator as well. Also, thank you very much, sir, for the Cash App. Shalay Hadessa, Rashawn Dave, our best and only intern at the moment. Portia Marie, who's been upgraded from intern to what? Campbell Superstar. But we'll talk about that some other time. Blind Guy, his wife, their life. They are the channel fairy godparents. I'm telling you, Quita and Corey are kind of crazy. Over here I call them Cosmo and Wanda because, well, they feel like YouTube family to me. The same way that you guys do. And so many of the citizens that I see out in the stream. So shout out to each of you. As many of you as I can. I share your content in as many places as possible because if it's positive and it's brown, I would certainly like to get it out there. I see you guys saying hello to everybody in the chat. All right, let me get at least 2 more theme songs. 2 more theme songs. I need a boost in my spirit so that I can get myself together and tell you guys this without blubbering from start to finish. Let's at least get, 35, 45 minutes into the stream before I start snotting, boogering all over the place. Because it's really not attractive. I don't care what you guys say. But so, in talking about all of this, let's just talk a little bit about how I got here. If you look back at some of my videos, my very first 2 videos are of me speaking at an event here in Tucson when it came to the death of George Floyd. And then I would do another video that November about everyone blacking out for Black Friday. Instead of going to the shops on Black Friday to take your money out, what are you going to do if you divest yourself from, what are you going to do with your money if you divest your money from all of these common places? And so I had done a video saying you need to divest, you take your money out of that system and begin to put it into systems for black people. And so if you go over to my Buy Me a Coffee, which I'm going to show you here, you'll be able to see those things listed. And forgive me, there's a little bit of lag here. Oh, maybe a lot of it. There we are. Okay, so this is my Buy Me a Coffee, and as you can see, I'm starting to upgrade things with new branding. You guys, things are changing a little bit. But anyway, if you go here to Buy Me a Coffee, you'll see that you can get spiritual clothes. Ignore these, because, yeah. They're just there for now. They're things to get the process going and get to working on it. The memberships are live, though, guys. Also, you can support the stream. The goal is changing to 5,000 to be able to start the podcast, and that's only because I need to be able to turn my focus full time to this to be able to do the podcast on top of the YouTubing as well. So there's some changing there. But if you'd like to be able to support the stream in the way that Keisha did, you are welcome to do so. Over here, you would just go buy a Sage bundle. You know, that's code for buy me some gas. Because, well, you know, you make sure you're actually trying to get medicated. All of it is possible. Or you can click over here at my memberships and become a member. You can be an allied citizen, or you can just be a regular citizen. That don't mean that way. You can be a chronic citizen, right? If you become one of those two, then you can get access to Discord, more things on Facebook. You get behind the scenes goofiness from me, hanging out with Sasha, and so on and so forth. But also, what I wanted to show you here is that I leave posts like writings attached to that document that I was talking about. Moral money here, and it's just basically what you can do if you want to do something different. If you want to take your money out of the system and divest and start to put it into something else, then you can go here. You can make a change and begin to put into the Black community. Right? If you are someone who has a college degree, or you had some level of education, or you've done something different, go back to the class, to the community. Give away an internship or two. I'm trying to figure out if anyone out there knows how to do an internship for YouTubing, live streaming, whatever it is, however I word it. Please reach out to me and let me know, or tell me where to go so that I can go and do that. I'd love to be able to give someone an opportunity just to try new things. Just because, you know, anybody who's ever wanted to try this but aren't sure you want to put your life's work into it, feel free to reach out to me. I'll show you a thing or two. You can take a whirl at it if you want to. It's just about learning for the most part, you guys, really and truly. But like I said, I came here and I started this thing with a particular goal in mind, and we're going to get into that, but I want to take you down the rabbit hole of how I got here, because it matters as to what it is that I'm trying to do, and why when I say to you that monetization isn't my goal, I've lied to you. And by that, when I say I lied, I just mean I didn't, I was afraid to share something. And I'm really still afraid to share. And it's not so much anything more than some things are just super precious, right? Okay. So we're looking at all of this content, you guys, around the Young Dolph situation. And I want to get into a couple of other videos as well. I want you to think about these videos from the parenting perspective, okay? What are we doing as parents to our children? So this first case study is shout out to Pink Book Lessons. And you guys, before I get into that, I just want to make sure that I've taken care of any other. I haven't. Listen, I put a video out there asking for your support. I want to get all of the housekeeping done outside of a couple of things. I put a video out there asking for your support to help me to create a special holiday, the very first special holiday for this little community. You guys, I'm nobody, but we're all somebody, and at the end of the day, we should start to celebrate things in life. And if we celebrate the lives of others, then we can celebrate life in a bigger way. So I'm asking you to help me celebrate military dads. Once again, shout out to Jonathan Majors. Check out the beginning of the stream so you can see what I'm talking about. Also, you might see him again at the end of the stream. But anyway, please guys, take a moment to check this out, and then hit the link below or hit the Facebook, and we can have a conversation. All right? Citizen, how's your spirit?
How's your spirit?
Mine, ambitious.
Ambitious.
With your help, I'm determined to create a different village. So I need your support. We get to set the standard in the ground. Right now, there are no days of appreciation in our village. I would like to start with the foundational day for military fathers. Send me videos of you and your military dad shouting out how important it was to you to grow up in a military family. And we're going to set a new standard in the coming months. Peace and blessings. Keep your spirit up. See you in the stream. All right, you guys. So, below you can see is the email address and also the link to the Facebook group. You can join the Facebook page. And what the heck, JP? Why don't you just show it really quick? You're so fancy. You already had it set up. Might as well show where it is. Ta-da! I know, you guys. Sometimes I get it right, and then there are other times I can get it wrong. Like every time that I click around to something new, it kind of slows us. Anyway, you don't need to know about that, do you? Ta-da! Here we are. There's the Facebook group. And while I'm here, let me go ahead and grab the link and drop it into the chat so that if you're inside of this live stream, you'll be able to click the link. We are to 21 citizens in the Facebook group. It's absolutely amazing considering it started with just me and apparently Brother Clarence. Shout out to Brother Clarence. Guys, he's over at Let's Talk the Better Black Life and he's got amazing content over there. He's passionate and that's important because you really want your content creator to care about what it is that they're talking about because you know kind of that they care about you too. So I dropped the link to the Facebook page into the chat. That way if you would like to, you can go over and do that. We talked about moral money and so I can close that. And now we are back to where we are. Today's case studies. Okay, you guys. So I was going to start with MTR and then everything happened with Young Dolph, rest in peace. And I really think that the MTR thing I'm going to put towards the end because it's going to help me to explain what we're going to do going forward in this community. But right now, oh my goodness, guys, I'm sorry. Let me close this. Okay. And I am going to play for you guys who, hey Don, so glad to see you, love. How's your spirit? Really quickly, also Paris Milan has a video out on Young Dolph. It's somewhere else that you can go for a different perspective, although it's definitely not one that I'm going to say that I agree with entirely over there. But Paris Milan, One Community, and also, what's the brother's name? Brother Kwame Brown are all keeping you up to date in some way on that one. But I want to talk to you about some other things that I think you may not have seen that's out there, especially with this being pushed to the front. So let's get into this one. It's from Pink Book Lessons. $1 Million St. Louis business couple over after unhappy boss chick wife turns on husband in Atlanta. That's a mouthful, you guys.
Things in your life can change for the good or the bad overnight, literally. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't feel like you're a strong enough individual, some things may take you out. You know what I'm saying? I've come in contact with so many people where they feel like they can't make it to the next day because certain circumstances happen. You know, so I made a post earlier where I said you have to continue to encourage people because what you're going through could be their lifeline to survive. You know what I'm saying? And I know for me, sometimes when I get on social media, yeah, we all know it's like we get on there and we be like, social media, I just can't stand it. It get on my nerves. People this, that. But I'm telling you, it's some strong sisters and brothers on social media that keep me going some days.
That was Kiana Burns, 44-year-old wife, mother, hairstylist, and entrepreneur from St. Louis, married to 46-year-old Ronell Burns, father and entrepreneur, motivational speaker, leader to many in his business and organization. The footage you're looking at right now comes from happier times, the couple's wedding reception. You can see the wedding party and all of their guests in high spirits, Ronell and the groomsmen perform for the ladies. You have Kiana and her bridesmaids performing for the men. Everyone having a good time, celebrating with the newlyweds. About 7 years later, November 2021, the music stops. The party is over, and the Power Couples family will never be the same. Take a second to make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Click the notification bell for all updates. And if you're new, include new subscriber in your comment below, and I'm going to try my best to respond to all of you. Shout out to Coach Sylvia and Huey. They wanted to share this story. I appreciate you both for sending it in. If you have a story that you want to share, click the link below in the description. Also, if you're from St. Louis, Missouri, Gwinnett County,
Thank you,
Georgia, or
Enya.
the
I got
Atlanta
it. Hey,
Metro,
just do
let
it.
us
How's
know
your
below in the
spirit?
comments. But right now, let's meet the Burns.
Okay, guys. Sorry about that. Thank you, Enya, for letting me know. Again, still working on the new microphone thingy over here. But we're getting there. So glad to see you. Just do it. Okay. So we're talking about, for the moment here, this case study is Meet the, sorry. This is Meet the Burns, okay? And they are content creators, they are content creators. We're content creators here on YouTube and in some other spaces. And unfortunately, things go sour here. Again, they turned their life. Anyway, we'll let them get into it.
If you need insurance, Ronell is the man. If you need your hair done, Kiana is grand. Together, 8 children, Shazam! Meet the Burns.
America, you ain't gonna wanna miss this. This is my wife, Kiana.
Mrs. Burns.
Hey, this show is gonna start and it's gonna be exciting. Hey, son, you all right? Hi, baby, how you doing? Mwah. Every single episode is gonna be exciting, full of action, impact. We talking big business. We talking about big family. Meet the Burns. Get off my couch. You know better than that, right? Hey, so like I said, we're gonna be touching from every angle: business, family, business. Hey, now you know, good and well, the Kool-Aid and carpet do not mix. Oh, y'all thought we was done? No, we just getting started. So now we at our salon. Critique Design is actually one of the best in the loop. So we got 2 of them, and as you see, it's always cracking. But you don't just come here to get your hair did. You want some prickle pig feet, razor blades, braids, whatever you want. What's up, cousin? That's my cousin mine. But they say whenever you get in your...
Okay, y'all. So, y'all know, I mean, it's JP, so you can only imagine misrepresentation, how I really feel about coonery on YouTube. And I'm kind of beginning to feel as though the stream, rest in peace, again, may have been a bit of that. But keep watching. I want to get to the part where she explains what happened, and then we're going to talk after that, okay?
Your hair did, women barbers do it better. And so from the top to your bottom, you look at Ronnie the B, she the one to take care of me. What's up, Ronnie? Hey, she empty today, but hey, she normally popping, y'all, right? And so first impression in any establishment is everything. And when you walk through these doors, you see my boy Nick always doing this thing. But as soon as you pass up his angle, man, you want some drama for your mama, Barry Road, man, she gets down with people, stay out of her lane, right? But this is the one that makes it happen. That's my boo. What's up, baby? She the one.
No, sir.
Make it happen. I stay out the way up in here. She run this thing from the top to the bottom. Hey, y'all, meet the Burns. Now, this right here, this is my baby. I love this. You be my wife. She's trying to catch up with me, baby. We got to move fast, baby, because it's time for big business. So we help families. We change lives. We impact our community. Big family, big business.
The couple had 8 kids combined and 1 grandkid, a blended family with children from previous relationships. Ronell, he was married before he and Kiana got together. He and his ex-wife Avis, who was a stay-at-home mom, they had 2 children together, and they appeared on divorce court in March of 2014 after 4 years of marriage. He and his first wife Avis, they connected after she was introduced to Ronell and showed interest in joining his sales team. She decided it wasn't for her, but she stayed in contact with him and kept sending him spiritual text messages every day. Ronell explained this to the judge on divorce court. Take a listen.
Well, I start off, Yana, we're here because of distrust with my wife. That's the ultimate reason why we're going through this divorce. Start back when we first met. I met my wife about 5 years ago on a business venture. And so, relationship terminated. I inboxed on Facebook. I said, hey, I'm free now if you still want to do that date. We went on that date that weekend, and we've been together, since then.
So on the show, the judge said that Avis and Ronell, they had been separated for some time, and during that time, he moved on with Kiana. On that episode of Divorce Court, Ronell explained to the judge how Avis did not want to be a wife. He caught her cheating on him within the first couple of months of marriage. He explained to the judge that that's when he started stepping out on her. That chapter ended in Ronell's life as he and Kiana moved on, celebrated their new marriage together. At the time, Ronell was about 39 years old. Kiana 37, her background in cosmetology, and Ronell, he worked in insurance. A couple of years later, he started selling for Primerica. Ronell's ability to recruit and motivate his team earned him $13,000 his first.
I swear to goodness, y'all, I'm just gonna leave the thing on right now. I'm gonna leave it unmuted. I mean, so basically, what I was saying was that she would go on to take his life. They would have some relationship issues behind the scenes of the show. They had several channels, I believe, on YouTube. And they who were unhappy. Y'all gonna stop making Rashawn is clowning me even with the thanks again in you. I got you, Rashawn. I'm gonna see you after the show. But anyway, yeah, so she would commit basically a murder-suicide. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that one of the children found them. But you can check out the rest of the story on Pink Book Lessons. You guys, the problem for me is that I feel this shit. And I'm tired of feeling this. I'm not going to get into more videos. And I'm not going to open the playlists and whatever else, you guys. Let's just talk about it. I'm going to drop the link. We're going to have this conversation. I'm going to need you guys to maybe pull some things out of me because I don't know how I'm going to get this out. Okay. I want you guys to understand what it's like from the family side. And I do a really bad job of staying on that because it does all of this. Right? I don't want to feel it anymore. I am quite happy in the space that I am in. I can bring you a whole host of other stories and information, and I can get right and righteous and let my passion fly and all of those things. But when it comes to explaining to you what it feels like standing next to a family member and hearing them explain, considering running out into the middle of the road, the shit hits different. Every time you see one of these videos, once you hear one of these stories, it just gets worse and worse. And Patrice is here, so. Hey, Patrice, darling, how's your spirit?
Girl, I told you, I'm emotional. I'm all over the place. It's so much going on in the world. I am so triggered by so many different things. I just can't watch. I hear myself like a double.
Here. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry about that. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, JP? I can't hear you.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just like I said, emotional roller coaster. I'm really triggered by a lot of things right now. I can't watch the Ahmaud Arbery trial. I can't watch the Rittenhouse trial. Like it's just too much. And now this, and then now the death of the rapper. It just our black community is we are so suffering right now, and I think that God is really telling us to really get it together. That's how I kind of feel like from the celebrities on down to the everyday people. I feel like our community is going through forms of chastisement, because I think that even in the entertainment world, with what we see going on with all of these rappers losing their lives, and now with this couple, I heard a lot about this couple over the last few days, and sometimes we like to think that we can have it all, and we can't. We need to realize that sometimes we cannot have it all. Sometimes we cannot do it all. Sometimes we cannot be it all. And problems come up, real life problems. You can flaunt as much as you want on social media and act like you got it all together. But behind the scenes, in real time, in real life, nobody really know what you or that couple or anybody else is truly going through, because we show the representatives on these social media platforms. Yeah. But in real life and in real time, real shit is happening. And this is a wake-up call for our people. We act like we don't care about each other anymore. We act like we don't respect each other anymore. We act like we don't love each other anymore. There is so much that is being lost in our community, and it's at our own hands, by the hands of somebody that look just like us. And that's sad.
So, I'm in agreement with you, but I have a couple of questions for you. I think one of the questions is it an act, or have we really lost respect? Did we ever have respect for each other? And have we lost it?
I believe once upon a time, truly, JP, and I'm going to speak for myself, because I can remember a time when the love and respect was there. Like genuine love for your fellow man was there. At a place and a time, I remember being younger, feeling that love, because there was a neighborhood raising me. It wasn't just my mother or my father. It was a neighborhood. It was a community raising me that cared about me, that cared about if I wasn't in the house when them street lights went on. See, that's what I grew up on, where the village did raise you. You knew your neighbors. Now everybody mind their own business, because you can't say nothing to nobody. You can't say nothing to nobody kids. You can't tell nobody what to do. Well, you need to mind your own business. They cursing you out. See, this is what's going on now. And look where we are. Look what's happening in our schools when we take certain things out of the school system. Look what's happening now in our school system. I mean, absolutely, I feel like it was a time when it was there. Now I don't. What was the other half of the question? I'm sorry. I got into my emotions.
It's okay. You already answered. You said it was there, and you asked. I asked you if we had lost it, but it's obvious that you feel as though we have. I'm gonna ask you to just sit here and be support. Okay. So you mentioned the village. I'm gonna tell you all about my cousin Demario's story. I'm gonna try to get it right, start to finish. I'm trying not to go too fast, and how I got all the way here. Okay. So in 2018, Demario was stopped in a traffic stop in Memphis, Tennessee. No, come back, Patrice. I'll leave you in the back of the stream, but I just need to see somebody's here. Okay, so in 2018, Demario was stopped in a traffic stop in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you, Patrice. And for the long and the short of it on that part, he took 9 bullets to his body. And then they rushed him away to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. By 6 a.m. the next morning, we would hear about his death on the news, along with all of his criminal record, his history, his past, his everything. And I know you're thinking, which is fair, hey, he did this, he did that, he ran into the police. Well, to be honest, that time he was just going to get something for his brand new son who was a day old. And he never expected to not go home. I never expected to wake up to that text message from my aunt saying that Demario was gone. I'm pulling you up, Patrice. You don't have to. I appreciate you being here. So we got the notification. I got a text message from my aunt who had gotten the phone call that Demario was gone. And then it became okay, what do we do next? They went to go and find out where they had taken his body to, whether it was actually him, what had been done. His car had been left there on the scene. All of the bullet holes. It was all over the news. At the same time, they were telling this narrative about what a criminal he was, and showing these pictures of him and his daughter, though. And it was, it's just this whirlwind. At first, people were like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry for your loss," and then they would hear, well, oh, he had a criminal record, or according to the Memphis police and the videos that they put up, which there is actually a playlist inside of my list of playlists, according to the videos that they put up of the body cam footage, that the first thing Demario said was, "I'm sorry, officer, I'm going to commit suicide." And then the officer asked, why? So the officer asked what, and then he said it again. The officer saw the gun, and then shots rang out. So I look at suicide and depression differently. I look at social media differently. I look at the young men and women who turn to YouTube on a regular basis to find the answers that we didn't give them, or their parents didn't give them. They seek it out on YouTube and social media, and things like what's happening with this family and Young Dolph and streamers who are just taking these children's money and so on. And all of it hurts my heart, because I know that 17 years from now, one of those kids being scammed or stolen from could be Demario's son. So way back in 2018-19, I began to form an idea based off of conversations that I had with Demario about what we thought would be a better future. And he wanted to own 1 square mile of land in each state where his people, as he put it, could live free. And all they had to do was be good to one another. And so I took that idea and the 5 foundational things that have gotten me through since his death, since my diagnosis, and since having a mental health crisis, and I turn those into a plan for what to do next. And it's called Purple Sanctuary, and it's my version of a nonprofit um, where it's that 1 mile of land, but on that land are tiny homes and a community center where all of the porches faces into the community, and people can meet there and build a community that when we have these types of crises, they'll go out and support the community until these crises no longer exist, until we're doing better, until 1,000 people are no longer murdered by the police, until we're not killing each other in the streets like it's a goddamn war zone, until we're not shooting each other up over somebody being on Instagram or social media. And I'm just tired, y'all. I don't want to get on here. And Patrice, you can open your mic when you're ready, but I want to share these things. I want to put the idea out there. I want to grow a different village. I have an idea and a plan how to do a better debate, how to build an actual community. I want to lay those foundational those things. So I need you guys to help me get my weight up and get more subscribers and more citizens or whatever I have to call it. But it's hard for me because each time one of these things comes up, I want to hide. Each time that you all give me love for telling you the truth about the bullshit, I want to run. It feels gross. And it's not you. It is just that in order to be heard, we had to stand in front of a bunch of goddamn cameras and cry out our souls, and yet and still no one gets justice. And I don't know what else to do. You know, this isn't a toxicity get live stream, so I don't know what else to do.
Oh, JP, I so feel your pain. I so feel your anguish. I so feel your frustration. I feel everything you feel because like you, I was one of those ones out there, in the trenches, marching and protesting, and just feel like, to what avail? Because laws don't get changed on behalf of our people to protect our black men and our black women that get got down unjustly by the police. No laws. They'll give us a statue. They'll give us a statue. They'll pay the family, some millions and make them sign an NDA, and they can never talk about it again, to shut them up. They'll give us that. But
it's
they won't
though,
change.
Patrice.
I know.
We do it. We accept it. We will just be like, "Yay! Look, they gave us a holiday we were already not half celebrating." Like,
Yeah. They'll give us, the shortest month of the year to celebrate Black History. They'll give us Juneteenth. They should, we just give them a little bit something that makes them happy. See, that's what we do when we settle. See, and that's what they say, and that's what they know.
but
And
so
they
what
say,
are we
well,
taking? What are we demanding? What are we building? What are we creating? Where do I go that I'm missing? Where's the people who are doing the stuff here?
there are some people that realize that the government, that realize that the politicians, that realize these people that we vote for and put in place are not going to do anything for us. These are people that dangled the carrot and said, vote for me and I'll set you free. But that don't happen. And we vote for them too. And then they get in office and they give us nothing. Nothing gets changed. No laws, no statutes, nothing. People was hollering about how you all gonna defund the police, and then what kind of protection we have, and when they really didn't understand the true meaning of what we were saying about defunding the police. We wasn't saying defunding the police to that extent, we were saying all those millions and billions of dollars that are sitting there in some of these police budgets, when we know reform don't work. How many times have police been reformed? How many times did they say we just need to reform? We need
But why do we
police
need
reform.
a police force? Like, why can't let's okay? Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I know you can't see me. I got my hand up in the air, but just give me a moment. Let's say we're building a different village. Do we start it with a police force or no?
Well, I think that police is definitely needed in communities, but see, there is no sense of community between the police officers and the residents of those communities. I grew up in a time where there was. I grew up in a time when your police officers lived in the communities in which they served. I grew up in a time where the police officers came to my school on career day and talked about what it was like to be a police officer and to serve your community. And he was called officer friendly. See, I grew up in those times. Now we don't have that. The police officers that don't look like us, that police our communities, live way out in the suburbs where just only people that look like them. And they think that they know our problems within the community. And all they see is Black people, bad people. Black people equals bad people doing bad things, not realizing the root of our problem and where it stems from. Poverty breeds crime. You stack a bunch of people up on top of each other in a project, what are you going to get? When you don't have communities that serve your neighborhoods, you don't have after school programs. You don't have any type of programs in the community to help serve the children, the elderly, and things of this nature. What are you going to get? When everybody is poor, when everybody is struggling, you're going to get crime because everybody is saying, I got to eat. And if I got to steal from my neighbor, I got to eat.
I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying to you is we build something different. You and I may not see it, Patrice, right? We know how old we are. So you and I may not see it. But right here on this platform, we have an opportunity to say, we're going to start something different. I'm going to give you an example of what it is that I want to do moving forward. Since you're here, it's you that I need help. You're not on the Facebook. So, and besides that, I know you've got a lot of things going on in other ways. I would like your support when I bring these things to YouTube. But anyway, let's start building a different society. Let's just decide that this platform is a new country, right? This country of Citizenville, whatever we call it, okay? And we're going to base it after the idea of the country of Botswana, where they had a poor population. Most of the people were uneducated. The British colonialists had just kind of picked up roots as soon as apartheid happened and so on, right? And president who had been a chief but stripped of all of his rights for whatever reason, now had to figure out how to build his country. So there is a poll in the YouTube. Please answer, you guys, the poll, because it asks, what would you do if you were going to start a new community? Where would you start? So Patrice, where would you start, and would you be willing to sit on this community's elder council along with Brother Clarence?
It depends on what all it entails. And one thing I do know is to start your own community, you still going to always have to go through the government, because you're going to have to get certain approvals when it comes to building your own communities. Say, for instance, we wanted to rebuild another Black Wall Street and what that looks like. And we find applicable, I always have a problem saying that word, land. We purchased that land. Okay, so we own the land now. So now we want to build. We want to build schools, hospitals, businesses. We want to police our own community. Still have to go through the government for certain things. And it can be done. But the first move is getting the approval, getting the correct paperwork, getting the correct zoning, getting the correct rules and regulations for a sovereign nation in place. And you got to take it to the government and say, this is what we want. Like, we want to be free from this government rule because we want to have our own rules in place and regulations and government. You can do that legally. You really can.
Okay, so we've
So
decided
that's where it starts.
Okay, we've decided as a community that we're going to fight for our 40 acres and a mule, not the literal definition, but what we can do today in order to be able to have our land, have it be a sovereign nation, and we know that the next thing we have to do is build our constitution. Get that part. What's the first thing that we focus on in building this community? Unfortunately, here, let me open the YouTube and then I'll be able to get the poll question correct. And excuse me, guys, because it's going to double up for a second. Wow, you guys, there are 13 likes, 8 watching. Please take a moment to like and share and make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, so the poll question is... If you could build a different community, where would you start? Government, human rights, production, or expansion?
And what was your percentages on who got the most percent?
No, ma'am. Answer the question first, and then I'll give you the percent.
I told you my answer. I said government. But I was asking you. Yeah, I was asking you what got the most percentages.
I was stuck. You said government, 50% at production. Hey, what the fuck? Glad to see you. Okay, so 50% of the people said production. In Botswana, that's what they did. They went for the mines that they had, their resources, and used that to begin export. So we would have to look at whatever land we would be able to get if we went with the production route, which seems to be the vote here. And so... You asked me what it would entail to be a village elder in this community. What you just did, basically, is for...
Yeah, and there is a conglomerate of Black business owners that just bought some land in Georgia, on the outskirts of Georgia, and they're doing exactly that. They're building a Black community. I can't think of the name of the project in Georgia. And you can look it up, that they purchased some land and they building Black businesses, a Black community. And it starts with that. Yeah, absolutely. You got to get the land. You got to put your laws and things in place. And we definitely need hospitals, schools, community programs, senior citizen programs, businesses, so we can flourish and keep the dollars floating in that community consistently, the same way our other race counterparts do. Because we know in our Black communities right now, our dollars only stay in our community 6 hours and then it's out. And you go into our other racial counterparts and it's there for 18, 24, 72 weeks, months, and they flourish. But ours always go out. Yeah. And the dollars that we spend are majority outside of our communities. So we're not spending the way we should in Black-owned businesses. But if we create our Black-owned community where it's nothing but Black barbershops, Black beauty shops, Black beauty salon shops, Black nail shops, all Black schools, Black restaurants that are Black-owned, that those dollars stay, Black grocery stores, that our dollars stay circulating in our own communities, because we'll have everything that we need to live and survive off of within that community.
Okay. So
take care of our veterans, take care of our elderly, take care of our children, take care of our women, take care of our men. And it ain't necessarily got to be in that order. I was just naming that is the main source that we need to concentrate on, where we are lacking in.
Okay. All right, so I've got two things for you. Now this is what I'm working towards. Put this back up here. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit blurry to me. Let's see if I can make this
See
bigger.
if you can enlarge.
I'm so bad at. Oh, I know what I have to do. So, I began with the idea that I cannot change the fact that we are being killed in the streets by ourselves or others for that matter. Right? Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I decided that we would come up with a community where we would create the resource system in case such an event like another death like George Floyd, or the young lady Naya Sigan who's being bullied for her blackness. Where if we build a network, a community of people that can be trusted inside of each the little community, and then they go out like a crisis team in order to be able to make that happen. But behind the scenes, there's just a 1 mile stretch of land with tiny homes on it where these families can go to not have to think about the day-to-day things, the water, the bills, the how am I going to eat? All of that stuff is provided for 30, 60, 90 days. An opportunity for you just to deal with the idea that I have lost a family member and I need to move forward, right? And how do I do that? To have the resources in place to be able to make that happen. So that's my end goal, is to start a nonprofit. So in reality, what happened is last year I was on Twitter and I'd gotten my following up to about 500 people or so. And I attempted to apply for a nonprofit called Life Comes From It. And it required a video or something explaining why they should invest in you. Right? Even though, it was about you having these life experiences, and that even though you'd not had any nonprofit experience, they would still invest in you. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't put myself in front of a camera. I couldn't, and I felt like I had failed. And so I was like, all right, well, let's see. So what's the hardest thing next to that to do if you can't get in front of this camera one time? It's to be able to start a YouTube channel. I started with one person, and now there are 192 citizens. And I am asking you guys to help me grow so that I can get bigger and better. But then I thought about it, why turn to that organization when I can start here and try to build that foundation as I grow this community, and put the two of them together as an example of there are foundational people out here who are willing to show up even if we may not ever see it through to the end. We try to leave breadcrumbs behind for you to follow. So that was my goal. These things are on the Buy Me a Coffee in case anybody wants to see them anywhere else. I'll try to remember to put the link in the bio below. But it's the 5 things that I was able to use in order to get me there. And then I knew that I would have to have land and homes. It had to be diverse and inclusive. But anyway, that's the call to action at this point, is for us to just to do something different. So I guess my thoughts are, as a constant watcher, and thank you very much. I truly do appreciate you being a citizen. I really, really do. I love the fact that you came to visit me, Patrice. Oh my God. Anyway, how do I make this work? How do I put the two together? How do I get village elders like you and Brother Clarence to show up on a Monday or a Friday and give your opinion on what me and some younger generation folks discussed on Tuesday and Thursday? How do I do that? How do I put this into work so that we can leave a living legacy of what it looks like for regular people to try and build something different?
By doing exactly what you're doing now. I'm hearing the echo.
It's you, I think. Oh, wait. No, it's me. Sorry. Here, let me close this.
Yeah. by doing exactly what you're doing. You're doing these call to action on your platform. I still hear the echo.
I'm trying to see why. All right, try now.
Yeah. So
Nope,
no,
it's
it's
still
still
there.
there.
Okay. Oh, you know
Probably
what?
need to some of
There
the
you go.
yeah.
No.
So yeah, doing exactly what you're doing now, sis. Having these type of discussions, really putting people money where their mouth is. Uh, some people can be all talk and no action. I would say reach out to Marcus from Rebuilding Black Wall Street. That's what he was trying to do over there on his platform, Rebuilding Black Wall Street. He was talking about the same exact thing. And it's the funny thing about it is with our people, we would rather listen to celebrity gossip and beefs that's going on YouTube and instead of really trying to build something as a community or as a people. Because when he was doing it over there, he barely could get subscribers, because they rather hear the celebrity crap. They rather hear the beefs. They rather, be involved with the BS, you know? So if you really have people that are serious about making a change and want to make a change for Black people and what that looks like, keep what you're doing and call these people, like with the call to actions that you're doing and say, hey, like you just asked me, would you like to be a part of it? And hopefully there are some odd people out there that still care about Black people, that people that look like them and that realize that they have family members. I'm a part of ADOS, with Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. I'm a part of ADOS, so I fight for reparations. And our own people are our worst enemy because they tell us, oh, you ain't gonna never get it. You ain't gonna never. I mean, we go into Congress with this. These are the people that can change the laws and make things different. And if we don't fight for something, then we just fall for anything. And I may not live to see it, but if my grandchildren get it.
Okay, so you bring me to a question then. How do we make legacy matter again?
By doing the things like this, what you're doing and what I'm doing.
Well, yeah,
And
but
making sure that we have conversations with our family members about what legacy truly means in the Black community. And that they need to step up, the ones that aren't, especially the men that are supposed to be the leaders, have the conversation with them, saying you are needed again. I remember having leaders in my community that men that were leading the way and paving the way. They were called the OGs, hence that's where my name come from, OG Patrice. Even though mine stand for original girl, I'm not a gangster, but there was some for real OGs in my community that helped raise me, that helped mold me to the woman I am today, that had legacies in the community, that had relationships with the police departments. Because see, Officer Johnson, he lived two blocks from me, see. So whenever something would go wrong, we would knock on his door if we knew he was at home before we would actually call the police. See, because when women or other people are calling the police on Black men, guess what? They ended up like Michael Craig in Chicago. Michael Craig in Chicago had did you hear about that story?
I did a stream and then after Pink Book Lessons and Kwame Brown, but yeah, that he called the police because she had already stabbed him. They got there and then they shot him.
Correct.
In front of his children.
So now the fear is in Black men that they can't even call the police when they need help, because they may end up the victim. For real. Imagine that. Imagine you being the victim, calling on the police because you're the one that has been assaulted. You need the help, and you call, and then they end up deleting you from this earth. See, people don't understand the seriousness of what's really, really going on in the Black community, and the relationship that is so broken between the police department and Black men. And I don't understand why more Black men are not showing up to these meetings at the police department, speaking a piece about these things to
We
get
never had a
things
relationship with
changed.
the police department like that, though, Patrice. You
I
gotta
know
think
this is,
about it.
but this is what I'm saying. Somebody has to start somewhere. I be at these meetings in
Okay,
my
but my
community,
my
and I don't
question
see
is,
Black men there.
why is going to them, anybody else, the start? Why is it not getting a group of our Black men together to say, anytime that you have a crisis in your home, you call us? Why isn't it saying, listen, look, I know it's only a few of us right now who are willing to say we will stand 10 toes down for this single family over here. I asked this a few videos back. Could men protect the homes of single mothers without having to sleep with them? Why can't we go that route? Why are we always looking for them to do
But how is
anything?
that going to get done when, if the father's not in the home and he's far away, he has to be called and have to get there first. And sometimes situations does not call for that.
Okay,
So
but there's
how
a
is that
group of
woman and
men in
child
the
protected?
community. How do we call for a group of how do we create a group of men in the community who are able to do that?
You have to get them together.
How do we
You have to
okay,
again have these conversations that's not being had with the Black men about stepping up and being leaders in their communities, because
okay.
they're not being.
So here's the call to action for what we're going to do going forward. I said that we're going to build something different. My goal is to have a different debate over here. And so our first debate is going to be doing different with Black men, right? For the moment, that's just going to be the title because, well, I lost it in my brain just that fast. But here's the principle. I will present a question just like this one. Okay, this is a temporary question, but at the moment, I'll present a question every Wednesday at the end of the stream. How do we do such and such different? Okay? On Thursdays, I'm going to ask the question in Facebook and have a conversation with the fellas back there. Friday, I'm going to have a conversation with Brother Clarence and a couple other fellas from Facebook. And then we're going to move forward. On Sunday, I'm going to do the same thing with the ladies and then bring it up here on Monday and have the conversation. Wednesday, I'm going to present the solutions and the chat will vote on it. It'll also happen with chat voting on Monday and Friday. That's just the premise. But the idea is that we start to actually have the conversation, not just once, but so that we think about it and have a solution from both sides focused on our children having something left. So, how do we get a conversation? How do we need Black men to come together in the community and protect the community from one another?
That looks like a community neighborhood watch, which is what we had coming up, except it was through the police. Now it could be just through man to man to man in the Black community. That's what my brother Muhammad is doing in Chicago. He has a group of Black men where they're going around patrolling, protecting. They're going to a lot of these other races establishment in our communities that's getting wealthy off our communities but not putting anything back in the communities. They're going to these businesses and confronting them up front at their business, at their offices. And he's all over Chicagoland doing this.
All right,
But
so my
you know what he
pushback-
says to me? He says the Black father and the Black mother don't come to him until after the fact, when it's their child that's been shot. Now you want to come to me and need my help. But when I need you to show up at this meeting, you're nowhere around. See, our Black men and our Black women got to do more stepping up when it comes to these community meetings. They don't want to show up. And I understand. Listen, I worked a regular job too, but I was showing up at these meetings. I was tired too, but I showed up because I cared about my community. I knew what voting locally meant. And if I worked with certain politicians, I can get certain laws changed in the community to get these kids an after school program, to get these kids a mentorship program. See, I know what that looks like. I know what that means. But see, now we have a generation of people that they are so self-absorbed. I'm just going to be real about it. But our communities are hurting because everybody is so self-absorbed and they don't want to show up. But we need them to show up. And it starts with the men first because they are the leaders of the household. They are the leaders of the community.
Now, you're going to get some pushback from me on that one. You see the face. Because
no, the men are our leaders.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. The men should be our leaders. They are not our leaders. The women are our leaders. That's the question that I was getting ready to ask. How do we get black women to give over control to the black male neighborhood watch?
Well, yeah. Well, if you talk in present tense, of course, yeah, the leaders are the women are the leaders. I agree with that. But I was meaning, yes, look, if the women don't relinquish it, do a takeover. Okay. Whatever that looks like, take over. Because we need them. Do a takeover. Bum rush up in this mud, up in your communities, and protect your women and children.
And that's the thing that I want kids. I mean, I don't like that term. The thing that I want people to understand is we talk a lot of game about a Malcolm and a Martin and a this, that, and the third, but not many people are actually willing to say, "I will die on this hill," and then do so. So I think we need to look really hard at ourselves when we talk about whom we hold up in as our leaders, as great in great regard, especially if we're not willing to do the work that they were willing to do. And today, I can't say as though I know of any folks who are just going to who are willing to say that. Well, not very many who are willing to say, "I'll put my life on the line so that you can have one down the line."
Yeah, because it looked like this. Everybody want to go to heaven, but don't nobody want to die. Okay? That's what that looked like. Everybody want to go to heaven, but don't nobody want to die. You need to subscribe to Michi X. You really do. You need to subscribe to Michi X. MECHEE and then X. Okay. Michi X, because she's all about that. She's based out of Atlanta, Georgia now, but that's all she talks about. That's all she cares about, and that's all she loves is her black people.
Yeah.
You know, I commend you for what you're doing and what you're saying, but it's gonna have to be a call of action, on our black men first, and hopefully the women will follow. And the ones that don't, JP, they just fall by the wayside because we have to realize we can't take everybody with us. Everybody ain't gonna go. Everybody ain't gonna want to go. Everybody ain't gonna be willing to go. Everybody ain't gonna be willing to put the work in. And those are the ones that will fall by the wayside.
All right. So here's a question for you, though. Do you believe I've been able to find my joy right here, despite all of it? It's not because I'm on something special. It's not because my brain split wide open. It's just that I've been able to find my peace and my happiness in the journey itself. Outside of what I do already, what is it? Is there a step that I'm missing? Is there a step that we need to be saying, hey, here's how you get started? Do I need to say, hey, look, first I made a ritual, then I did this. How do we get our people to begin to heal themselves while we work to build a different community?
Yeah, that's sort of like building the airplane at the same time you flying it, right?
Yeah. That's
what that looked like for our people, right? Because see, our people is all about, they're all about, well, you get this first, then you call me, right? That's how we are, right? It's like, well, when you get it, then you call me, But how are we going to get something when we can't get people together to put a call to action in place? Because literally, we are starting from scratch. And you need people that's going to be like-minded and on one accord with what you want to do. You know, you have the vision, you have things that you have aligned, your agenda that you want to bring forth to them. So that's a start, because it has to start with the conversation first. Hey, I have this vision. I want to get to this goal. This is what I want to do. This is my agenda. This is what it looked like. A, B, C, D, literally like that. But see, our people want us to have it first, and then they'll say, we'll come. But it can't work that way when you don't have nothing. It can't. If you're trying to build a sovereign nation, you literally are building it from scratch.
Speaking of, go ahead, Rashawn. Rashawn, Patrice, Rashawn.
Hi, Rashawn.
Nice to meet you, Ms. Patrice.
Thank you. You too.
I just wanted to say I agree with everything OG Patrice is saying, but we need to start a little earlier in the process, because she's jumping to like coming to the meetings. Like there have been decades of meetings, we haven't seen the type of progress we want to see. So you have to be able to compel one person that you know to actually participate. If you can't convince the one person, it's going to be hard to convince the masses. If you haven't put together a pitch or like a business plan for the ideas that you're putting forth, it's going to be hard to get anybody on board. OG Patrice is right. People do want to see receipts. Like you have to come with something. Once you build it, I'll come. But that's a truism. I mean, that's something that you have to contend with. Even the natural business, Amazon, they had to build. It started from a small fledgling company building on their principles, and now it's a behemoth. So we would have to do the same things and not be afraid of the long, arduous work. Like JP has said, I might not see it. It might be for the next generation because of our age, but we're going to have to convince people that that's the work we're going to have to do. And that's going to have to start with one person. And a lot of times, and a lot of people don't want to do this part either, it's going to start with meeting people's basic needs. You're going to have to feed and house people. You're going to have to get them out of a circumstance where they can even think about whatever you're proposing, because a lot of people are not there.
Are you in? Then does that mean that you're in disagreement with the idea of production being the first thing you focus on?
Absolutely. Now, my answer to that question was human rights, and I didn't mean like human rights going to the UN or human rights going to the government. I meant interpersonal relationship human rights. We have to establish a code of conduct between each other. And then we can build our community between me and you as neighbors, as family, as whatever relationship me and you have. Once we've established that, human rights, what are fundamental between me and you, we can bring Patrice in. And then once Patrice is on board with that human rights, that dynamic, we can bring the next person in, and then the next person. And it's a grassroots movement. Trying to win people over, like in mass, that's almost impossible with something that's purely positive and theoretical and not fleshed out. Like if there's no bullet point somebody can go look at, review, it's almost going to be laughed at. I mean, because people have tried little small things. We have ideas, we have notions, but unless it's fleshed out or you have capital behind it, nobody's going to really want to follow that. It's just another, dream.
I agree with you 100%. Like I was telling her, it is some people in Georgia that bought some land that is creating a Black community out there in Georgia. But these were people that had the money to purchase the land and to put these businesses on. And they're inviting other people that may want to build a business on their land to do just that. And it's a beautiful thing. So like he's saying, though, without the capital, and if you're getting it based off of a nonprofit, that means that's government. And like I said, anything you do in that sense, you're going to have to go through the government. There's just no ifs, and buts, or maybes about it. And that can be a dangling, enduring process, right? So then our people are impatient too. So you can, like he said, get this together. Arshawn said, get it together, have your complete business proposal in order, and pitch it to the people you want to pitch it to, and see if they are willing to be on board, if they like your business proposal or not. You're going to get some yays, you're going to get some nays, right? The ones that say yay, put them to the test. Say, hey, if you get involved in this, you appoint, because you can't do everything by yourself. You appoint each person. Say you have a board of people. You be in charge of this because you're good at that. You be in charge of this because you're good at that. That way it takes some of the load off of you. And then say, hey, if each one of you can bring in 1 to 5 people that you think that may be on board with this type of project, and then we set up a meeting with them and see if they would be willing to put any funding, any time, any whatever into it, if they see fit. I believe that it can start like that. But the business plan has to be in order from A to Z already, because we are a show me people. We are a show me what you got people.
Can I just say this without it sounding as petty as it's gonna sound?
Uh-oh.
We ain't got shit always asking somebody to show them something.
Exactly.
We the least
right.
having this always wanting to see is damn people.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
my people. I get how we got here, but woo boy, sometimes it can be frustrating. Okay.
Yes.
So now, here's the thing. I'm being transparent. One of the things that has come with this, all of this life experience, all of the trauma, rebuilding, is that my brain really did fracture. As a result, the pathways that I used to have to be able to do things. So I was a volunteer manager for almost 20 years in total. I was able to call someone, hey, I need you to do such a... None of that works anymore in my head. I couldn't sell myself before this, and I can't sell myself now. That's what this feels like to me, and that is hard to me. I don't know how to... I know how to ask for help, but at the same time, it's that thing. Right? I have to be consumed in some way to get this thing done. How do I keep you all from losing faith in me as I try to work with this genius, brilliant, whatever crap that's been crammed in this brain now? I don't know what to do. Go ahead, Rashawn.
If I may, what I would suggest is you have, like Patrice said, you're going to have to lean on your strengths, and that's your passion and your vulnerability. That's going to draw people. That's going to build loyalty or empathy in some manner. You're going to have to lean on people like What the Fun. Like, as he just said, Neely Fuller. So he has citations to drop on people. Books, websites. People like that can do the organization. These are the citations that we need to build upon. And somebody like myself, you're first, or you're only intern, I can put that together in a framework that's digestible, like, bullet points or something like that, with just more content fleshed out. But it's going to have to be, like OG Patrice said, everybody's going to have to, and I'm paraphrasing, everybody's going to have to bring their brick to build that wall. But everybody's got a different talent, and that's what you lean on. So instead of, I'm not a networker, so maybe you're more of a networker than I am. Like interpersonal relationships, I'm a little off camera, standoffish. But I can do some of the technical stuff. So instead of having me spin my wheels trying to network and getting one person where I could have done 10 pages of work, somebody else can get 10 people, and I can do my 10 pages. Like efficiency and, was that a division of labor, so to speak. I think that's the term.
Okay. I'm trying new approaches to getting things done. Like I send out videos sometimes to ask people to come and do things, but I really want people to understand that this is part of the process too, which is why I'm sharing. Like, I don't think it's not just me who's going to experience this, whether you're just trying to rebuild your life or whatever. So you need to know that it's not just that you feel like you lose yourself. In some ways you do. I used to run like a damn machine, you guys. I raised 3 military boys. Like and we did basketball, we did a daycare, we did it all. And to go from that to not being able to organize, like really and truly, if you knew what it took behind the scenes to get this stream together, it's all over the place. My notes look like one of those Venn diagrams. Just it's insane. But it's what I am pushed to do, and that's the last question that I have up here for everyone else. This one isn't so much a call to action. This one's more like when I told you earlier, you guys, that I made the homeschooling for the heart. This is one of those companion things, companion question, which is what's the universe pushing you to do? I know that the universe is pushing me to do this, and I think that that's part of what scares me. But like I told Rashawn, there's nothing in my life that's stopping me. The people around me love me and support me in a way. I don't have to cook. Someone does that for me because they're trying to learn a thing. Rashawn does the timestamps because he thinks that what I do is important. And I do understand it, but I want you guys to understand that you don't have to take the toxic route, but it does mean that you have to be more honest and sometimes more vulnerable. And that makes this process harder. So when I go for a whole week dealing with the grossness, like toxic things like last week, I have to go and either be surrounded by my real life bubble of love or go to an internet bubble of love for a while. But that costs me because at the same time, it also means that I may not stream on a Monday, or like, 4 or 5 days in order to get it together. And that feels like I'm letting people down. So, how does a content creator make sure that they don't do that?
Well, I would say, the most successful people I know that don't know certain things, they hire people to do it. They get someone that do know how to do it to help them. I would say that you would need like an assistant, a person that can do things that you need done in your absence if you're ill or things of that nature, JP, because it's going to be tough. It's going to be a long road, and you cannot take all of that on your shoulders. You just can't. I know, for me, if I don't know how to do something, listen, I reach out to the younger minds that do. If I need, and interns are very, very helpful and useful, and they come cheaper than the professional ones, and they do exactly the same thing they do. They just happen to be still in school for it. That's the only difference. So, the younger generation with their young, innovative minds are great sources. College students, research students that could do that are involved in already activism, that are involved in some form of some type of civil rights movement or something. They are great resources to reach out to for help, for things that you don't know how to do. I do that every day in my everyday life. If I know I have a nephew that is a whiz in mathematics. I call on him when I don't know the answer to something. You know what I mean? So just being able to have those resources is definitely what's going to be needed for a project like this, because you're talking about a whole sovereign community.
Absolutely.
So just keep that in mind.
And if I may, JP, the first thing I would say is always establish boundaries and set expectations. So you're pretty transparent about the struggles that you go through. Like, you communicate that very clearly. So if anybody that's demanding that you be there at a specific time on a specific day and you just can't make it, that's not somebody that you can allow in your space. I mean, because they're putting unrealistic expectations on you. So that's you set your boundaries, and if you set expectations and you communicate those, you don't have to do anything more. There's a comment in the chat, I think it's an A, that says all you have to do is exist in the moment you're in. Like, you're doing your portion. Everybody has to bring their portion, and it's all going to look different. Patrice is going to have a different part. Like he said, she goes to the meeting, and the men aren't there, but she's at the meeting, so she's hearing feedback from critical people, what they're saying, what their plans are. There's somebody else that can do something else, so that we're not all trying to. And I know sometimes representation matters, so we need more people to show up at the meeting. But once we build, we can say, hey, we don't need everybody to believe what we believe, but we do need numbers, a show of solidarity. Unions did stuff like that. You need to show up in full force in numbers, even if you're not a part. Just show up to make it look like something. And sometimes that's necessary, and some people will heed that call to action too. Oh, you're not requiring me to do anything but sit. I can go sit in a different place for an hour on a Tuesday, third Tuesday of the month. I mean, so people, as long as you put realistic expectations out there, communicate your needs, people will come through. But it has to be clearly communicated and outlined, and it can't be more than they have. Asking me to go out and stand on a corner and greet every person and call them in, that's never going to work. The movement won't move because I'll be somewhere in the corner, like, oh, I don't want to talk to these people. I can't do it. So, I mean, but you have to know, like, I borrow a lot from the Bible. Know those that labor among you. And there's another verse that says, write the vision and make it plain. So you have to know who you're working with, and you have to know what your vision is, and you start with those baby steps. I've heard from your story where you said when you moved, you brought in your sons. And I think there were some other people, but you housed them. You met their most basic needs, and then they could contribute to your community or your household. That's one way to do it, and that's the foundation principle. We're building real time with the core that I have around me. But you're reaching out virtually to people. So those are the people that are going to need the bullet points and the structure so they can see it. And I can follow these steps, and you clearly communicate what the needs are from them. And it's in their wheelhouse. So you don't ask people, again, like I said for myself, you don't ask us to do things that are foreign or uncomfortable to the degree that we won't do them.
Okay. So this is I think my last question, and I appreciate you guys for being here. We'll keep talking, but so I want to set up a true or model United Nations, if you all know what that is. And I know that a lot of folks who haven't been in a upper middle class school, probably middle class school area, probably haven't. But it's basically the United Nations just inside of this little community. But what I would like to do is set up a way in which we actually debate these issues as if it were a government type situation and we were coming to solutions. Is that asking too much of? We're doing it behind the scenes with people who have a bit more used to are used to it. But on YouTube days, that's just going to be anybody who wants to show up. Am I asking too much of people to say there's a format you're going to have to follow over here? I know the rest of YouTube does something different, but there's a format you got to follow here.
Again, if I may just reiterate, as long as you're setting the boundaries and communicating expectations, then you can't do anything more than that. I mean, then of course you monitor or enforce the rules. But what you're saying is exactly what I was saying. You set the boundaries and communicate expectations that are realistic and let people fall in line. If they can't abide by the rules, they can't participate anyway. They wouldn't be good citizens in your new community that you're trying to build.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback off what Arshawn is saying, when you're setting up your whole business proposal, policies and procedures, rules and regulations need to be a part of that. It goes for the member of your immediate board. You can call it a board, if you will. You can if you can muster up 10 or 12 people. So if you can get so many people, then each person you appoint get so many people. You start with a board of people to sit on this board because you're going to need people to help you make decisions, right? Based off of policy and procedures, based off of rules and regulations. And you have all of that. And every time, you have a conversation with someone as you're trying to get them to come on board, these things are already in place because this is the type of people we dealing with in the Black community. They want to see it. They want to see it in black and white. They don't, what we need to be in a position now is where we show approve, right? Where action speaks louder than words because we're tired of the dangling of the carrot in our faces now by these politicians that we vote for and we get no results. So now it is a matter of us taking matters into our own hand in our community and saying, this is what we're going to work towards accomplishing as a people. And we're not asking the politicians for nothing in the, in that sense, because we want to build our own sovereign nation somewhere as a people and have our own Black Wall Street, or our own Black community, if you will.
Okay.
But this is a start, see if you can reach out to some Black men. If you know any, email them, get some, reach out, that some of them that have these platforms that do this type of talking that you're talking, reach out to them. Hey brother, I see you doing this and that and the other on your platform. Let me see if, can I have a meeting with you? I got some ideas I want to run by you and see what you think. I would love to have you on board. It's a sales pitch at the same time too. Because you have to sell this and make it believable that it can happen to our people and for our people.
I think that the biggest issue for me thus far has just been focusing on how it's going to affect me. And if I'm saying that I'm willing to die on this hill, then I need to be willing to put myself out there for this platform and this agenda. So I'm gonna have to get my big girl britches on and reach out to more people. And I'm gonna have to ask you guys to help me get my weight up and get me more citizens in here so that we can have more robust conversations and create a better dialogue out in the community. Because if we can create it, then we can get other people to replicate it, and then we can actually get some movement going. And maybe, if we're really truly lucky, by this time next year, we won't be voting for a bullshit Democrat or Republican.
Right.
Just a thought. But I truly appreciate you guys for being here with me. Everyone who watched the stream, everybody who's on the panel. We don't have to go anywhere, but we're coming to that 2-hour mark, so I just wanted to let you guys know. I truly appreciate it. I have to be honest. I never thought that I would be able to get myself up here. Like I told you guys, going up onto the Kevin Samuels thing was just to see whether or not I could, hold my head up straight and still my back, and then having to deal with all of the stuff last week. Truly, I was ready to call it quits. No BS. No BS. Between that and behind the scenes trying to make sure that you are responsible for all of your regular life stuff, and then this, even if this is your purpose, the people that you love every day, it just gets so much, I don't know. So I really appreciate you guys. And Rashawn has done several timestamps already, and I asked him to tell me 5 things that he learned about me from doing the timestamps in the videos. I don't want to blush, so I'm not going to ask him to repeat them. But what I will say is I did not realize how much I had, for lack of a better word, exposed myself to YouTube. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that we need to be more honest about who we are, where we are in life, and what we're going through. Because for as much as I poured all of that out, I've received nothing but love. Sans one incident, okay, 2 incidents. I've received nothing but love. My life has grown. I'm 46. I did not think that I was going to be in love, and I don't mean I don't mean I met a dude that I can just kick it with every now and then. I mean attached to my person. We can feel the thing that everyone searches for. Thank you. Thank you. In this world. And I didn't think that I was going to get it. After Sharif was murdered, I just figured, all right, I'll just drift. And then to be in love and to have that and be able to pour out everything into this channel and have him refill me, I just don't want to do any of you all a disservice. From Demario's son to the man that I love, to each and every citizen who shows up. So sometimes I just am willing to say, rather than disappoint you, I would stop now. So I need you guys to show up so that you can tell me, hey, jackass, it's you. Keep going. So thank you. I do need to get y'all's theme songs now that you're up here. Patrice, I told you you're going to have to cam up in order to jam with JPam. I don't know why you be playing with me, man.
I will. I will. Next time I will. I got my PJs on now, but
I only
you
live in
have
PJs.
you have my number, so you know how to contact me. And I will reach out personally to Rebuilding Black Wall Street for you. And just kind of have a conversation with him. And then when you're ready, maybe invite him on your platform as a guest to talk about said things.
I will.
How
He
about
was in
that?
the stream. He was in the stream, and it really and truly is me, you guys. I just don't. Rejection is hard. I'm still learning. It's not that I've never been rejected before or anything like that. It's just that after you go and beg people for help, after you give your everything and ask for help, and nothing happens, you just want to stop asking. And so when it comes to, I don't know, strangers in this sense, it makes it even harder. I don't know. I think Patrice dropped out. Hey, look, it's sister to sister and the Fiver family. Look at Rashawn on it already. Check y'all out. All right, is that your theme song, Rashawn? Watch the duck?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm scared. What does that mean?
It's just the name
y'all
of the group.
Be playing. Okay. I see you, Patrice. I'm going to grab you back up in just a second.
And we didn't actually answer the question. You asked, what is the universe pushing us to do?
Yes.
And you said you're being pushed to do this, build this community, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I know right now I am being pushed to actually show up in the discomfort, in the uncomfortable places like this right here. I don't like being on up front. So I've been feeling the pricks to do it for whatever the reason. I don't know what the purpose is. I never wanted to be like a face or a personality. I have no idea what the point is, but I'm here. I'm trying to show up, and I'm here to do my part. I'm bringing my brick.
Good for you for being in the moment then. How about you, Patrice?
Yeah, my discovery these last 8 months or so of being on several YouTube platforms and trying to lead by example for the younger generation. I know for me, I feel a calling of definitely being a part of something greater than myself. I've been very blessed to travel and tour the world in the entertainment industry and work for some very, very not so good and some good people. And but I know that my life has always been pretty normal, and I'm glad to say that. But I know that now there's a call on my life to be a part of something greater than myself that may or may not have anything to do with entertainment anymore. And I'm okay with that. If I can lend my talent through entertainment, I will. If it's something else that God's lead me to, I'm okay with that too. But I know there is a force is causing this and wanting me to be a part of something greater than myself and be very selfless when doing so.
Okay. I'm in agreement with you there. We already got your one theme song, Patrice, but you know we're gonna get a second one out of you. So first, let me get this one because I didn't put it there. You guys, I'm gonna start putting these playlists in the Facebook and Discord, and they'll always be on YouTube. But again, the point is just I take these later on and listen to them while I work. I try to remember what we talked about and where the conversation was going so that I can make sure that I stay right on the focus that I have. Like I said the other day, the thing that keeps me grounded in that focus is remembering that there's a little boy who's 3 now, who was a day old And I have to leave something that no matter what happens, whether or not the people who are right around him give him the best foundation, I can give him something to work off of. So I've got Rashawn's theme song. Yeah, I got Rashawn's theme song. Patrice, what's your theme song on the way out of here?
Well, I am all about the emotions today. So play Emotions by Samantha Sang.
Okay. All right. Emotions by Samantha Sang. But first we're going to do this one by Rashawn. And Patrice, you might have to mute so that because it's going to double back.
Okay, no.
You should call your friends tonight. Tell them you gon' be with your man. Cause I want them heels alight. Cause tonight I made us plans. It's the hottest when the sun is the brightest. But you stay cooler than a fan. Ooh, you a queen that's made for a boss. And that's why I be showing you all.
What?
Showing you all. That's why I love showing you all. Showing you all.
All right.
I feel like, Lord. Rashawn, this time's for the big boys.
Who's that song?
It's called Showing You Off by Watch the Duck.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, right? All of a sudden, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go. I'm listening to this soundtrack as soon as I get off of here and light me a whole bowl of the blunt. Listen, Ania says she love that song. Wait a minute, where you hear that song at? Where I'm at? I'm on the wrong doggone YouTube premium channels, I guess. I feel some type of way. Rashawn, you be sending me reminders to get my behind in gear and get work done. So I guess that's why you don't send me songs too. I could get a theme song every now and then. I would greatly appreciate it. All right.
Think about it.
Well, I'm old school, so go ahead on put my old song.
Okay, you said Emotions by, what was it?
Samantha Sang.
Okay,
S-H-A-N-T.
The Bee Gees got one, and Destiny's Child got one. There it goes.
Yeah, the Bee Gees are actually background on her song.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
this was the first time hearing it, but she
Gary Gibb wrote it.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, you see, it does say that featuring the Bee Gees. Okay, here we go. I want to slow skate in a leisure suit. Is it just me? Oh.
But the heartache lives on inside. Oh, and who is the one you're clinging to instead of me tonight? And where are you now? Now that I need you, tears on my pillow. Wherever
it's so hard to believe that that's men. We're gonna get copyrighted, but I don't get myself together. Woo!
I know, right?
That doggone Patrice, boy, she be having you. You think you gonna go and lay down and chillax, and here she go, got you all ready to swoon. And Rashawn started it off, had you ready to go get in the bedroom. Anyway, take a cold shower.
I come the old and songs that I had pleasure either sing or background sing on. So it was a wonderful thing.
So I want to play y'all what was originally tonight's theme song because I have missed the fella just a little bit. But anyway, so I have a thing for Otis Redding. I've said this before, like a huge, if Otis was alive today, I'd be all crushed up on that dude, right? Like I might have a little bit of prison time behind it. I ain't gonna front. But anyway, this is one of my favorite songs. But we're gonna upgrade it to cannabis and coffee, okay? Because I actually do. I'm gonna tell the truth. I do smoke cigarettes. I'm a creative. We have this weird hinky thing where, so when I am creating specifically, there's one lit somewhere. It's like 2 puffs, and then I'm like, this is disgusting. But it's almost always lit, and someone mentioned the ancestors earlier, and it's really that. It feels like the ancestors, like one of my energies is just kind of like, hey, yeah, we need to be able to do this, like James Baldwin style, and kick my leg and smoke. But anyway, shout out to Otis Redding, because this right here is my favorite.
It's early in the morning, about 2:45. I'm sitting here talking with my baby over cigarettes and coffee. And to tell you that, dog, I've been so satisfied. Honey, since I've met you, baby, since I've met you. Oh.
All right, so last stream we talked about Otis Redding too, by the way, because everybody was going on about music and how you had to, all of your rights. I was like, whatever. Otis Redding did it better and did it first. So shout out to Otis once more time. Also, you guys,
rest in peace.
Indeed. Speaking of rest in peace, please make sure that you go and if you're interested, check out One Community or I really would say Pink Book Lessons or Kwame Brown for more information on what has happened with Young Dolph. Let me take this out. And any updates that may be coming on. I will be back Friday, 7:20 Mountain Standard Time, 9:20 Eastern Time. If there are any updates that I can provide by then, I will. I appreciate you guys so much. Rashawn, I just look at you up here with your little 12-year-old baby. I'm sorry. Okay, I know you're an adult male, and I'm going to behave myself. It's like calling a grown woman cute. I really do, but there's a part of me that just, you're like the little brother that I never had, and I appreciate that because you keep me honest, you keep me humble. You make me have to check myself, and I call myself enlightened, so I really appreciate that. Patrice, you just the G, homie, like A1, day one. Rashawn, you know what, Rashawn? Let me just, before we get out of here, you watched the videos, you saw the interaction between me and Patrice. Would you have thought that it would end like this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Okay. You're both very sensible people.
Absolutely. You're a smart young man. I like him.
She said you're a keeper, fella. We're going to have to get you a lady. My bad. What? Rashawn. Okay, never mind. That's for later on down the stream. I'm good at that too, though. I'm telling you, I give great relationship advice. Hey,
I understand. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you being here. Rashawn, Patrice, for sharing your theme songs and your perspective, being in this community already. You know I'm going to hit you up. I promise. I truly am. Patrice, I appreciate you being willing to extend a branch out to Marcus. I am working to do a better job and get better, you guys. But help me get my weight up. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. If I can get to 500 citizens, I can get a community tab and I can yell my mouth off on YouTube, Facebook, and other places. So please, please, please do that for me, you guys. And then I am going to do my best to get out as much content as possible. Go live each and every time that I feel this body can handle it, and we are going to move the discussion forward. So tonight, let's make sure that we do this. We're leaving here tonight, and the discussion for Friday is how do we get a black man neighborhood watch? Okay, we're going to do a different community. We're not going to have police. We're going to have brothers out there, police or watching the community, and we're going to figure it out. So I will be working on my part tomorrow. You guys work on getting more citizens in here to have the discussion. And I will see you guys in the streams. Keep your spirit up. Time for the outro.
You too, JP. Take care. Nice meeting you, Rashawn.
You too.
Bye, chat.
Thank you.
Bye.